Hi guys, it's Eleanor here and I'm going to be starting my vlog for the Let's Get Graphic readathon here. And it's the day before the Let's Get Graphic readathon. I'm just about to go to bed. Tomorrow Let's Get Graphic starts. It actually starts at midnight, but I won't be getting up that early. I'm just going to read all throughout the day. I've made sure my day is relatively free. My husband's going to be doing lots of fun things with Matilda, so I've got plenty of time to be reading. My TBR's changed a little bit because I've received a couple of books recently that I want to put on my TBR. But my plan for tomorrow is to get up, start one of these books, and then it's free comic book day. And so I will be going down to my local comic book shop and standing in line and waiting for free comic books. So I'm going to take you along with me to that. I'm going to take a picnic and a picnic blanket after that and go and sit in the park nearby and just really enjoy what's meant to be a very sunny day reading my graphic novels. So I'm just going to turn you round in a minute and show you what I will be taking and what my main focuses are for the beginning of the readathon. So on my priority list is Wires and Nerves Volume 2. That's one that I'm really interested in picking up. I've got Volume 1 of Jughead because I think that's going to be a good one. I was very kindly gifted this book last month for my Bookopoly book from Janet, which is Rebel Lazies Who Rocked the World, Brazen by Penelope Bagieux, I think that's how you say it. And it talks about lots of different women who did things, but it's told in graphic novel format, which looks awesome. I'm so excited about that one. So that is high on my list as well. And then I've got issues 1 to 6 of the Jetsons, which is very nostalgic for me because I grew up watching the Jetsons. So these are about half of the graphic novels that I've got on my list for the day, but these are the pile that I'm going to be taking with me throughout the day and working my way through. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to start with yet. Maybe the Jetsons, maybe Wire and Nerve, I'm not sure, but I will catch up with you in the morning and let you know what I'm starting with and take you along on my day. Morning everyone. So it is currently just coming up to 7:20 in the morning. I decided that this time round for Getting Graphic I wasn't going to try and start at midnight, which is our sort of starting time to do the full 24 hours. I was going to sleep until I woke up, or until I was woken up by my daughter, and then I would get myself up, get dressed, start the day, have some breakfast, and then I'm going to walk into town and go to my local comic book shop for free comic book day. I will probably get there a bit earlier than when the shop opens because it gets quite busy and there sometimes can be a queue. So I'm going to get myself ready, do all of those bits, breakfast, etc. And then I'm going to walk into town. When I get there, while I'm waiting for the shop to open, I'm going to start my first book. I feel like because I'm a bit more awake and I'm not sleep deprived, hopefully I should be able to read until midnight tonight, so do the full whack this end of the day. So let's get breakfast going. Because like last time I did a vlog like this, I'm still on doing my Weight Watchers. It's going really well. So I'm going to be taking a packed lunch with me today. I'm going to make myself a really nice salad, and I'm going to have some eggs for breakfast. I won't show you my eggs because I don't think it's that interesting, but I'll show you my salad once it's made. I like it with olives and beetroot and peppers and avocado and some boiled eggs. So let's get them going. Okay, so I've got my packed lunchbox, I've got some raw carrots, I've got a banana, an apple, and I've got my ginormous salad. I've still got to cut up some pepper and put some avocado in here, and my eggs will go on the side until it's time. But oh, it's so yummy. I've got lettuce, olives, beetroot, yum. Okay, so I'm down at the local comic shop, Chaos City Comics, and there's already a queue. It's about 55 minutes till the shop opens, but I'll give you a little look. a bit of a queue. Everyone's obviously excited about getting their free comic books today, so I will show you in a bit what I end up getting. But for now I'm going to stand in the queue, and I think we're going to start with the Jetsons. Okay, so I didn't film when I was in there because it was super busy, but I've now set myself up in our local park, which, as you can see, I hope you can see, is right by a massive cathedral, and it's just beautiful here today. It's quiet and it's sunny, and oh, I did so well at the free comic book day. I'm going to show you some of the ones that I picked up. So I managed to pick up this Riverdale issue, and this is an all new one, Untold Stories from the series, so I'm excited about that. I picked up issue 1 of Strangers in Paradise. I'm hoping you can see these. Let's get into a better shot. There you go. Number 1 of Strangers in Paradise. I picked up this one, which looks super interesting, which is called Barrier. So I don't know what this one's about, but I'm excited to give it a go. I really had to go on just the covers for these because it was just so busy. So the next one I picked up is called Shadow Roads. I have heard of this before. This is a brief history of Tank Girl. I love Tank Girl, so this was a must pick up. I picked up a couple for my daughter, which I think she'll really enjoy. There was a DC superhero comic. She loves DC superheroes, and she's struggling to get into reading. She's only 5, so she is just learning to read, but I'm struggling to get her to do her reading with me, so I thought maybe a comic book would help. And then I also picked up one from a TV show that she loves, and that is Miraculous. So I picked her up those 2 issues because I think that she'll really enjoy those. I also picked up the Wormwood Saga, Die Kitty Die, I Love You to Death, and finally one called Malachor. So I did super well, and I'm so excited to try these, and what better day than the Let's Get Graphic readathon to try them. While I was in the queue waiting, I reread issue 1 of the Jetsons, and I then moved on and read issue 2. I'm really enjoying these. These are sort of a solid 4-star reads for me. They're following the Jetson family. Earth has become waterlogged, and so people are living in these sort of spaceship come planet areas that are just above the Earth's atmosphere, and there is now the danger of a meteor coming down which could catastrophically kill everybody. There's also something going on under the sea which could also catastrophically kill everybody, and so the Jetson family, with all of their different talents, are trying to help in different ways to combat this. So I'm on issue 2. I'm going to carry on with them now. I'm going to try and read the whole of this sort of series arc, and then I'll move on to the next thing and I'll catch up with you then. Hi guys, so I sat in the park for quite a while, a good hour and a half I think, and then I started to feel a bit hot and just wanted to come home. So I came home. Unfortunately, it was a bit chaotic at home. Matilda was struggling to eat her lunch because of her reflux problems. I don't know, she just can be a bit food resistant, and she had a tummy bug earlier in the week, and she just doesn't want to eat anything, and it just worries me because she's such an active child and she just doesn't eat enough, like, at all. And I know a lot of parents worry about how much their kids eat, but I mean, for lunch today she had about 3 bites of a cheese sandwich, like 3 nibbles, and that's it. Yeah, so less about worries about that. Just yeah, so I got sidetracked by that. So I've been sitting with her for a little bit, and I read her the 2 comics I got for free comic book day, and she really enjoyed them, so that was good. So I have, though, finished 1 to 6 of the Jetsons, and I gave each of these issues 4 stars. I really enjoyed this story arc. I really like the Jetsons as a family. I just think it's a really great graphic novel that shows family values, and a family that values each other, and a family that looks out for each other and looks after each other, and I just really enjoyed it. It was really good, really fun, interesting, bit action-packed, and I really like the colours that they used for it as well, so I'll definitely be carrying on with that if they do more. And now I am currently about 1/3 of the way through volume 2 of Wires and Nerves. I'm gonna have to put it down because I can't keep my page and hold this camera because I'm not skilled in holding the books up. Hold on, let me try with this hand, might be easier. That's a bit better. So I read volume 1 and really loved it, and so I'm reading volume 2. As you can see, I'm about here, so I'm going to carry on with that. I'll let you know my thoughts on that when I've finished it, and hopefully Matilda and my husband have gone swimming, so hopefully I will get at least an hour now to just really solidly read, because who knows what's going to happen when they get back. So I'll check in with you in a little bit. But let me show you where I'm going to be sitting because it's such a beautiful day. So I've got all of my garden furniture out, as you can see. And I've got my little spot out here. And I'm just going to sit out here and relax and read. Hi guys, so I've just finished the second volume of Wire and Nerves. I really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed going back to the Lunar Chronicles and visiting these characters again, and it's just been really fun. I think this is a duology, so it's now wrapped up completely. It felt like it was wrapped up completely in the ending. I'm gonna give this 4 stars as well. It was just really enjoyable. I really enjoyed Aiko's character. I enjoyed seeing how one particular character, Kinney, his perception of who she was, being an android, changed over the 2 books. I really enjoyed that sort of education of him, and I thought that was really interesting. And it was just a thoroughly enjoyable read. So now I think I'm going to dip in to this one, which is my non-fiction read, Clueless in Tokyo by Betty Reynolds, which is filled of tidbits and information about Tokyo. Let me see if I can find a page here to hold up so you can see. It's just full of wonderful facts, I believe. So I will come back to you and maybe tell you some of my favourite facts when I've read it. Okay, so I've had a little nap, but I also did some more reading. I have finished Clueless in Tokyo and I quite enjoyed this. It was full of sort of anecdotes about different things of Japanese life. There would be sort of a question like, why are all these particular statues by the side of a road in Japan? And then there would be a picture and then also sort of a description, a brief description of what they're for. I liked it. But I think I'm just going to give it 3 stars. I think this would be really good if you were visiting Tokyo. I think, you know, if we ever get to go to Japan, this would be something that I might take with me or read before I go, because there are a lot of interesting things that I didn't know and that I think would be fascinating if you saw them in real life. So it was good, and the artwork was really lovely, but it isn't one that I was, you know, I would be raving about, given that I haven't been to Tokyo and that I'm not on my way there anytime soon. So this is a 3 stars. I then decided to move on to Giant Days Volume 6. I love this series. It's just very reminiscent to me of being at university. It was a great continuation. There was a lot of laughs, a wine and cheese party. One of their dads comes to stay. Yeah, I just love these girls. I just love their bond. I love their personalities. I love continuing with this story. So it was another 4 stars. It's been 4 stars all the way through for me in this series. So I am now sitting at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I have read my non-fiction, which is this one. I've read my continuing a series, which is this one. I've read my blue cover, which is Wire and Nerve. And I think that's it so far. I've still got to read a standalone, and I think there's one more. Oh, starting a new series. So I've got to read my standalone and my starting a new series to finish all the challenges, which I think I can do. So I'm going to have a scout through and decide what I'm going to read next, and I'll come back to you when I've finished it. Hi guys, so I've just finished volume 1 of Jughead. This is the start of a new sort of reboot series, a reimagining of Jughead, and is by Chip Zdarsky and Erica Henderson. I enjoyed this one. I didn't love it as much as I was hoping to. It was still quirky, and they'd still kept certain aspects of Jughead's personality in there from the original. It was its own sort of spin on things. You still had Betty and Veronica and Mr. Weatherby and a lot of the characters that we know from Archie and from Riverdale if you're watching the new TV series. And it was fun and it was interesting to read. Just nothing really stand out for me. The jokes weren't funny enough. There was some strange sort of dream sequences in each of the issues which jarred me a bit and took me out of the story, and I'm not sure that I enjoyed them being in there so much, but I can understand why they were. So it was okay, not my favourite, so I'm going to give it 3 stars. But this does tick off the challenge of starting a new series, so I've just got 1 left to go, and if I get that, then I will have completed all the challenges for the readathon, and I'll be getting my bonus £5 for my Bookopoly jar. Okay, so I have now finished Graveyard Shakes by Laura Terry, and this was my standalone book for the readathon. I ended up giving this one 2 stars, and it was sort of a cross between a 2 or a 3. I just thought it was very predictable. It was, you know, it was middle grade, so I'm sure that some middle grade children would really enjoy it. I just didn't feel any depth there at all, and there's plenty of middle grades that I've read where you do get that depth of character and plot. I did like the artwork. It is the sort of middle grade artwork that I enjoy. It's quite you know, straight lines. It's very much bold colours, but I just didn't find myself enjoying it as much as I hoped. It was very quick. I mean, I think I read this one in 15 minutes. I mean, it was so quick. And that's a shame, because I think I liked the idea, and although the idea and the premise behind this, which is that there's a man that's created this sort of Frankensteinish boy, but in order for this boy to stay alive, every, I think it's 13 years, he has to consume the life of another child. And so you see that happening in the past, and then we then flit to, you know, 12 years and whatever many months later, and there's 2 girls going to boarding school for the first time. And obviously their paths cross with the ghosts and this man and his son, and it was fairly predictable, as I say, and it was just a shame, because I feel like there could have been more done with this to make it more interesting. So yeah, I ended up giving this one 2 stars. So I have now completed all the challenges set by the readathon, so that is an extra £5 on top of the £30 that is already going in for this readathon, because this is the readathon that I'm running myself. So normally, if it's just a readathon I participate in, I get £2 for taking part and 5 if I complete the challenges. But when it is either the Waterworks or the Electric Company, and this is going to be my Waterworks, I roll the dice, and whatever is on the dice, it's 10 times that amount, and I rolled a 3, so I get £30, and I get an extra £5 for completing the challenges, so 35 for this readathon, which is brilliant. I am now going to I'm debating trying the the comics that I got from World Book Day, Free Book Day, Comic Book Day, or reading Brazen. I haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to try the comics that I got from Free Book Day, because they're sort of I read the 2 that I got Matilda earlier in the day with her, and they sort of stop halfway through the story, because obviously they're trying to encourage you to buy the graphic novel or to buy the single issues. So I'm wondering if these are going to be the same. So I think I'm going to try these now. I'm going to try all of them, and then I'll come back to you and let you know what my thoughts are on them, and in case there's any new ones that you should keep your eyes peeled for. So I'll check back in then, and I think after that it'll probably end up being the end of the readathon for me. So I'll check back in with you in a minute. Okay, so I've read through all of those comics, and there was some that I really wasn't interested in. There was some that I'm really interested in, and some that were just okay. So let me take you through them. There was this one of Die Kitty Die, I Love You to Death, and this was snippets from different issues of this. I wasn't keen on this at all. It's not my type of thing. The artwork was probably like quite dated now, I would say. I feel like the artwork was a little bit dated, and I wasn't 100% into the stories and the idea behind it. It's, yeah, not for me. Supernatural in terms of comics isn't really my thing, so wouldn't carry on with this one. This one I was most intrigued about. It's called Barrier, and actually you read it like this and you read it up this way. Unfortunately, I read the first sort of 3 pages and I was thinking it was going to be okay, and then there was 10 to 15 pages all in Spanish, and it alternated between English and Spanish. So if you are a Spanish speaker, this might be something that you find more interesting, but for me it limited me because I just couldn't read half of the story, so I found that one confusing. Another slightly confusing one was this, Strangers in Paradise. This was all in black and white, and again a rather confusing story. I think it's meant to be a girl that's associated with some sort of group, and she's got sort of like a safe bag hidden in the wall, and one day she realises that someone from her past has caught up with her and she disappears without a trace, but it just didn't have enough substance for me to want to carry on with this one. Next up was the Tank Girl issue, and that was fun. I don't think I would carry on with Tank Girl. I'm not sure it's 100% my type of story, but this was a fun one to read nonetheless. It's just a one-shot about Tank Girl and her birthday ritual of punching her old childhood bully in the face every birthday, and one birthday she turns up and he's not there, and it's about her feeling a bit wronged and not really feeling like it's her birthday without being able to hit him in the face. So it was quite funny. One that I'm a little bit intrigued by, one that I probably wouldn't pick up until I'd heard some other people talk about, was Shadow Roads. I thought this was interesting. It's following almost like a dual place, like an old western place, where they're fighting against some sort of magic, and then we're following these 2 Eton boys. One of them has an Indian heritage, and they go to a British exhibition, and he is followed by a man who gives him this sort of ceremonial dagger, and they end up on this bit of an expedition-y adventure together. It's okay. I'm not sure if I would like the rest of it, so I'd like to hear someone else's thoughts first. One I knew I was going to enjoy was Riverdale. This was really fun. This was the story of Pop's Diner and some of the stories behind what's happened to Pop's Diner over the years, and some of the people that have frequented the chocolate shop in Riverdale. And it was fun. It was Betty interviewing him from the Blue and Gold, and Pop was talking about things that had happened there over the years, Bonnie and Clyde, and an unusual man that had come in and sort of saved Pop's Diner. So I really enjoyed this one. I really like Riverdale. I think it's brilliant. Next is one that was okay, and that is the Wormwood Saga. I think this sounds like a really fun sort of magical adventure story where a young boy's father is a painter, and he paints these pictures which you can then walk through, and they're like a portal to another world. And he's told that he is not allowed to tell anyone outside of the family, and yet he tells this girl that he really wants to impress and takes her with him, and it's just a little bit of a story about that. This might be a fun one as a full graphic novel, but again, it wasn't quite enough to make me want to spend the money that it would cost to buy that. One, however, that I do feel like I'm really interested in putting onto my wish list and potentially buying in the future was this one, which is Malachor, Creed and Fury. This is following a couple of women. There is Malachor, who is sort of a deity, or a like a superhero, and then another young woman who is fighting for the same cause. And this Malachor has been around for 500 years plus, defending her people, and now they're fighting against an evil foe together. And it was really good. It's set in sort of a Middle Eastern setting, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed that our main characters aren't dressed in skimpy outfits, and they're dressed appropriately and still kick ass. And it says on the back that if you enjoyed it, there is the graphic novels volumes 1 and 2 are already out, and there is also another graphic novel which follows one of the other characters, which is called EXO, and there is 1 and 2 volumes of that out too. So this is definitely definitely one that's going to be going on my list. It would have been a really strong 4 stars if it was a graphic novel, I should think. So that's it for the readathon. I hope that if you've taken part, you've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it today. I feel like I may have got myself a little bit pink from my time out in the sun, but I've had a lovely day. I've read some graphic novels that I haven't, you know, I've been putting off and haven't quite got to, so I've really enjoyed that. I've hit all of my challenges, which I'm really pleased with. And I was really excited to be at Free Comic Book Day and get all these comics to try. And now I have a new one to add to my wish list, which I'm really excited about. So let me know, did you do the Let's Get Graphic readathon with us? Did you read anything exciting? Any 5-star reads on the day? Unfortunately, no 5 stars for me, but plenty of really solid 4-star reads. So I'm pleased with that. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now, BookTube.